So, when I was in, I guess 11th grade, 10th or 11th grade, I had a teacher. His name was, we called him Coach Bradshaw. He was a pretty great teacher. He was a really cool guy. He'd been around for a while. He actually taught both of my parents. He's notorious for paddling kids back in the day. And so I had him for history. And Coach Bradshaw, whenever he would teach, he would essentially read big chunks of the chapter, and we would take notes whenever we thought it was really important. Well, there was I may have had a couple situations where I acted like a little hooligan in there and did little things, pranks, whatever you want to call them, less educational things. Well, he used to stand outside with this bird before class would start, so I went in for the day, and the prank thing I want to do that day was that I wanted everybody to go beep whenever he said the word that. And so on the board, he always had his map down, so I pulled his map up and I wrote the word of the day is that. And so told everybody in the class, and so we're sitting in there, and about 5-10 minutes in, he starts reading through the book. Well, that makes it pretty predictable for knowing whenever he's going to say a word. And so he was reading, and he goes, and that was the, and then he said that, like myself and probably 3 or 4 other people, you could hear just a beep beep beep, a couple beep beep beeps, around there. And then he didn't even hesitate, because I don't know if he could hear us or he just didn't care. And he kept rolling through. And a few sentences later, another that popped up. When he said it, it was like we were trying to do Morse code in the class. It was like beeps everywhere, like just beeps going off, everybody doing it. And he like paused and looked up, and he was like, Mr. Tarver, Mr. Nichols, and because there was another kid in class named Jeff Nichols who would kind of goof around in there some too. And so he knew who was behind this. We were suspects 1 and 2. And then he goes, Mr. Tarver, was that you? I go, I didn't hear anything. And then he goes, Mr. Nichols, do you know? He goes, what was that? And when he said that, Jeff went, I don't know, beep, 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 and started just kind of freaking out on him and kept saying beep a bunch of times. So he sent Jeff to end school, I think. And then I think he just told me to stop. But it was pretty fun. And then we did, by the same token, whenever he said a certain word one day, we all dropped our pencils. We did a little pencil drop thing. So we all dropped our pencils. So you could hear them all, everybody dropping their pencils at the same time. It was pretty neat, except for that a lot of people dropped them and the lead broke, and so they didn't have anything to write with the rest of the class. But it was good times. It was good times in Coach Bradshaw's class. So another time I was in class, and he was talking and teaching about something, and so I slunk down. He didn't look up very often, so I slid down on my desk and crawled underneath people's legs and under their desks, and then went to that back door up there. If you walk up the ramp, it's that room to the left, and there's got that door in the back. I crawled in there and went downstairs, went out the door and went downstairs and hung out with my buddy Kyle in the home ec room, and just had a good time. It was fun. It was fun stuff. Can't do that now, though. It's against the rules. But then you can do pretty much whatever you want. No rules. It's like Outback.